American Country Show.
Welcome back to this week's American Country Show here on Keep It Country TV. I'm Stephen Keogh and I'm just back from an interview with Jamie Lee Thurston. I began by asking Jamie how he made the move from Vermont to Nashville.
A friend of mine met a guy from Nashville who ended up being my manager, and I started flying back and forth to Nashville twice a month for 2 years before I moved there 20 years ago. Right. So I did a record then, and then moved to Nashville, and through that I had made some connections, and I immediately ran into a guy named Greg Brown, who produced Travis Tritt's first 5 records, Waylon Jennings, Tanya Tucker, Chris Ledoux, and on and on. Started working with him immediately. Through that, I ended up getting a record deal at Warner Brothers. Of course, they used to call it the Witness Protection Program, but I was there for 2 or 3 years, and you know, it was a tough gig. It went from the guy going, man, we love this, and he's holding my CD. Oh man, we love this. We got all kinds of singles we can do. And then it went from this to, we're looking for a first single. Right. So I went, and I was really depressed at the time. So I went and wrote with this guy named Blair Daly. He was a great songwriter, great guy. We wrote this song called Dear God. I had this idea that it's a guy who writes a letter to God, just like reconnecting. Yeah. Wrote that, went in and sang it for him, and he said, play that for me again. So I played it for him again, and he just stands up and he goes, that's your first single, go cut it, meaning go record it. Yeah. And then we immediately booked a session. I think it cost around 20 grand. We had it done in 2 weeks, and he dropped me from the label before he even heard the song.
Why?
Exactly. I don't know.
So what's the status of that single? Because I was looking for that single online. Mm-hmm. Do you still play that, say, in your live shows?
I do sometimes, yeah. And it's on a previous record, because I'm on my 9th record now.
Right. So it was never a single then?
No, sir. No. And it was actually, I ended up getting another record deal after that, and it was supposed to be the first single off that record. And then,
It wasn't meant to be, that song.
No, man, there's been a whole lot of stuff that has not been meant to be. Maybe I was meant to come to Ireland and the UK and do what I'm doing now. Not maybe. Apparently I was.
Right, well, let's just stop there. Can you do Dear God? Because I'd be interested to hear what it's
about. Oh, absolutely. Sure, I'd love to play a little bit.
This is the one that got away, Warner.
That's right. Dear God, remember me. I'm sorry that I've been so out of touch. I hope you haven't given up. And I know it's been a while, like a lost child. Now I'm down here on my knees, and I'm begging you to help me, please. I feel the darkness closing in. I'm lower than I've ever been. I know sometimes that life ain't fair, and we all have our cross to bear, but I can't tell temptation from the truth. I see the devil everywhere. He tells me I ain't got a prayer. Dear God, these days it's a crazy place. Got you working overtime between the wars and the crime. And I've tried everything and anything. I got nowhere left to turn. I don't wanna burn. Don't mean to bother you with me, but I'm tired of crying myself to sleep. I know sometimes that life ain't fair, and we all have our cross to bear, but I can't tell temptation from the truth. I see God, my dear God.
Wow, okay, there's the one that got away. Warner, what were they thinking? That would have been such a great single. I mean, you must have been devastated at that time.
Oh God, that's a great word.
You said you were depressed going into that stage. What was it like when that happened?
I didn't leave my house for 2 weeks. Yeah, it was awful.
Were you clinically depressed?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I've actually suffered from that, I realized, since high school. So it's something that you just have to manage. It's just stuff like I work out a bunch to try to keep everything, I surround myself with the right people, that kind of stuff. So I work hard to try to stay above water. And doing this kind of stuff,
yeah.
I mean, you're helping me. Seriously,
well,
no, you really are, because it's this is what I live for. This is my life. I've never been married, no kids. This is what I do. So I am blessed to be here, and I'm in Ireland. I've always had a dream to come to Ireland, and here I am. So I'm fulfilling my dream.
Great. Well, let's go back to that house that you wouldn't get out of for 2 weeks. How did you lift yourself out of bed, go out and start again?
I don't really remember how I got out, but I wouldn't answer the phone, and my management couldn't get a hold of me. And it was from the couch to the bed, to the couch to the bed, to the couch to the bed. And
did you try and convince Warner? Did you just you must have tried?
I was
everything.
stunned.
Yeah.
I was stunned when it happened, because 2 weeks before, and you talk about the music business being highs and lows. 2 weeks before, you're at the top of the roller coaster, going, finally, I've written it. He wants me to record it. And then you go from that to, and he never even heard it.
Yeah.
So, and they spent 20 grand. Why spend the money?
Does this happen to a lot of artists over there?
There's lots of stories. I've had a unique ability to just be in the wrong situations, So, and that's, man, when you're depressed, it's hard to keep chugging, and keep going and keep motivated. But here I am, man. Life is actually pretty good.
And 9 or 11 albums later, is it? 9?
Yeah, I'm on my 9th record, drops next year.
Great. Okay, well, let's get to that point. Giving Up Breathing is the single. Note the no G.
It's an apostrophe. In another song, it's a true story for me. Giving Up Breathing. I've dated ladies and loved them, but boy, I met this lady and was head over heels in love and thought she was the one. Mm-hmm. This was it. And we ended up breaking up 3.5 years later. And again,
so this song is directly related to that relationship.
Yeah, I was same house.
Yeah.
Wasn't leaving the house again.
Oh,
was going into the kitchen drinking way too much. So I staggered my way into the kitchen to grab a beer and cracked the beer open and took a sip and went, man, giving you up is like giving up breathing. And I went, at least
there's a great line.
And I wrote it down and got together with my friend George Taryn. And George has written a bunch of big hits, like 7 number ones. And he's just such a great guy and a great writer. So we wrote it in a day, and it came out great. The funny thing is people have said to me, man, it must be so cool to be a songwriter because you get your emotions out. And it's like, well, yeah, you get them out, and then every time you sing it, they go back in again to get them back out. So it's like singing Dear God, I get emotional. It's like singing this song, it brings you right back to where you were again.
But it gives you great material. Obviously, relationships that break up is just perfect for a country writer, isn't it?
That's what I mean by country music is real, man. And if you keep it real, people identify with real.
And why is she in the bath at the end of the video? What's the meaning of that? It's almost like she's regretting that you broke up.
Yeah.
And does she regret it?
I don't know.
You put it in anyway.
Yeah, I haven't. Well, and it was funny because this is how eerie that video was. Even what that girl wore was almost identical to what my ex-girlfriend would wear after she got out of the shower.
To be the wrong way.
American Country Show.
Welcome back to this week's American Country Show. I'm Stephen Keogh here on Keep It Country TV, and I hope you're enjoying our chat with Jamie Lee Thurston this week. We've had the new song, we've had some live music, but we wanted to talk about songwriting. And did you know that Jamie could and possibly should have written a number one for Rodney Atkins?
So the story is he had come off 4 number ones, and I was in visiting with a guy named Gary Overton, who was the head of EMI Nashville Publishing at the time. And he's like, man, this is going to be awesome. This thing's going number one. And it was his fastest rising single to date. Yeah. So we chatted, and I was like, man, from your lips to God's ears, man, that's what I hope happens. And on the way, so I'm walking down the stairs on the way out of the building, and I called him the Colonel. I was like, take it easy, Colonel, we'll see you. And he goes, yep, see you at the number one party. So it was, again, his fastest rising single. It raced up the charts, got to number 20, and Curb decided that it really didn't fit his image too well. And they were like, yeah, we're going to drop this single and go with something different. So it limped up to number 16, and then within 2 weeks, it was gone. I mean, it dropped like a brick.
It's a kind of a fun novelty song. I love songs that start off as if they're going heartbreak and then they suddenly take a twist, like Joe Diffie.
Oh, Prop Me Up beside the jukebox.
Yeah, or Brad Paisley, the fishing song. Songs that sound like they're heartbreak and then suddenly they just take this twist.
I love that Diffie song too. Yeah.
Will you sing a bit of it for us?
Oh, sure. And just
get your guitar there.
Before I do, this is a true story about my best friend at the time.
Really?
Who, when he'd start dating somebody else.
It's you, really, isn't it? A friend? A friend? Oh, yeah, okay.
Isn't that what they say?
Yeah.
I got a call from my best friend this evening. Said he wasn't going out with the guys on Friday night. Yeah, he was gonna change for his newfound flame to keep her satisfied. I just laughed and said, go ahead and try.
This is the up-tempo bit now. Come on.
'Cause I gave up smoking, women, drinking last night, and it was the worst 15 minutes of my life. Well, I've always heard too much fun will kill you. I'll be the first to tell you I don't want to die. Too many 12-ounce curls, pretty girls, and parties ain't advised. Well, take it from me, don't believe all that hype, 'cause I gave up smoking, women, drinking last night, and it was the worst 15 minutes of my life. Yeah, I gave up smoking, women, and drinking last night. It was the worst 15 minutes of my life. Yeah, it was the worst 15 minutes of my life. Yeehaw!
That's such a great song. That is a really, really good song.
Thank you very much.
American Country Show.